Are people there? I'm so sorry. This is my first live video. My name is Sophie. I'm a single mother of a 10-month-old. I've recently just left the Hinkler electorate. I was a participant in the trial of the cashless debit card. What do you call it in Hinkler region? I lost my house to this card, and it really upset not just me but my whole family. We paid cash rent $240 a month for a 3-bedroom Queenslander. I know that's a great deal, but I was happy to pay it. But once the card came in place, our landlord was not happy to accept cash rent, so we got kicked out. So I now live in Victoria. I live in southern Victoria, right down the bottom. Love it. Don't rip on it. It's okay. It's beautiful. There's nice trees here. But the only reason I moved here was because of Inju. The only reason I got approved for a rental here was because they did not know what the cashless debit card was. They just think I'm a normal person on a parenting payment. By the way, I'm on a parenting payment. I was stuck on the cashless debit card because I was a pregnant woman and studying full-time. I was studying disability support. Yep. So I got put on the card, which funnily enough I happily signed up to because I was lied to, because I was told it was I'll go, no problem, like, yeah, it would act like a normal cashless debit card. It will act like a normal card, so I'll just use it as a normal card. Great. I don't drink, I don't gamble, I don't fucking buy drugs, excuse my French. I don't do these things. You know, no biggie to me, no biggie. I'll sign up for that. Here, have my signature. I did not realize it was going to hinder me in paying rent. So here I am in Victoria. I now live in Victoria because no one would rent to me in Hinkler. I was 8 months pregnant on the cashless welfare card. Even though I had basically a genuine promise of an income for the next few years, no one would rent me, even a flat or a unit in the area, because well, once I broke up with my partner, obviously, no one would rent me anything because I was on the Inji card, and they knew the struggles that came with paying rent. The only reason I was probably approved for a rental in Victoria is because no one here really knows what they don't know what the cashless card is. They don't know it. Like, don't even know what it is. They think the basics card is something that was made up maybe 5-6 years ago for the Aborigines in Kalgoorlie or in the Kimberleys, somewhere where that it just doesn't apply to them. Unfortunately, I was one of those people who just didn't know that this was going on, and I moved up to the Hinkler region, near Bundaberg. I wasn't in Bundaberg. I was on actually the Isis River. And I decided to study a course doing disability support and aged care, that kind of thing. Hello from Victoria, hi. I passed my course with flying colours. I got offered a job in Bundaberg. But I was pregnant. So while I started my job, I was pregnant. I got offered more work once my child was in childcare, which is fair. That's fine. That's normal. Yeah, cool. I really wanted to settle in Queensland. But they didn't want me. Basically, some stuff went down at my house. My landlord only wanted cash rent. Inju would not let me pay cash rent. So we were giving, me and my partner, who lost his job at the time, no, not his fault, were paying cash rent for our rental. We were giving my Inju card to the landlord to buy petrol and food to pay for rent. Once he had bought enough petrol and food and he was so over it. Like, he was over it. He just wanted cash, which is normal. That's how a lot of the property market runs in Australia. And if the government's not aware of that, well, wow, wake up. Anyway, basically, the Inju representative at Impact, where I was studying, told me that it was my landlord's fault, that he was charging cash rent and that I would be better off homeless than living with him. I'm sorry, who is better off homeless living in a car, in a Corolla, than in a 3-bedroom Queenslander? So I had to leave the area. I'm basically posting today because I'm in Victoria now and I've been here for a year, almost a year. I got a lovely rental, absolutely beautiful rental 2-bedroom unit here for the last 12 months. Now that there's a 17% increase in house prices, they want to rip out my kitchen and bathroom and sell it for profit. That's fine. I've found another place to move to. The only reason I'm even able to live here is that I was approved for a rental in Victoria because nobody knows what the Inju card is. You know, like, to me, that's wrong. You know, you shouldn't have to lie. In a way, I feel like I've lied. And 3 times this year, I've been put in arrears because of Inju for quote unquote technological stuff ups or whatever they call them. You know, like, what point am I trying to prove here? In 11 days, I have to move house. I received the keys on the 30th of April. I've been now told I'm in arrears because I have to pay 11 days worth of rent until the 30th of April, which Inju hasn't approved me to pay because I don't have the paperwork to prove them. I've been on a lease here for over a year. Like, my point in case is, why can't we pay rent in advance? Why can't we pay rent in advance? Like, why? Why? Paying rent in advance avoids all of these issues that I'm facing right now. All of them. I have $7,000 plus in my account and, I cannot pay rent. What is that? That is financial abuse. That is telling me where to spend my money and when. So I can go to Kmart and buy $3,000 worth of plastic crap. I can buy tinsel. I could buy chopping boards. I can buy building blocks. I can buy ugly t-shirts. $5,000 of it if I want. But I can't pay my rent. This is just, it's ridiculous. Sorry guys. I'm not good at public speaking, and I've prepared some notes, and I'm really, really bad at reading from them. So give me some power here. Basically, I used all of my cash money savings to pay my rent this week. So $472 of my money, of my cash money, when I'm about to move house in 11 days, $472 has now gone to paying my rent so that I'm not in arrears. I don't want to be in arrears. I'm so embarrassed. I don't do that. I don't do it. You know? It says, what have I said here? What have I written? What have you written? Why can't you be as many weeks and months as you like? Oh, sorry. I live in Victoria, where it's actually pretty standard to pay rent monthly. Sorry. Yeah. Of course, I will remember this at the next election. Oh my God. I'm remembering everything in the next election. Don't you worry. I know Labor doesn't support the cashless debit card, but I want them to support it getting gotten rid of. You know, this is not okay. Simply not supporting it is fine, but being against it is a different thing. Basically, I've spent maybe 6 hours on the phone to Inju and Services Australia today, and they will not put the $472 cash back into my account because I've paid my rent with my cash. They won't put it back in my account. They've simply said a flat no. How is that okay? You know? How is that okay? They've just said a flat no after 3 phone calls and 5 different people I've spoken to. 5 people. 2 of them have hung up on me. $472 gone from my cash account. I'm about to move house. Like, God forbid I need cash expenses because I've been saving this money for a rainy day. I don't drink. I'm not gonna reveal to you how much money I have in my cash account, but it's a bit. I would have always had that regardless of whether Inju existed or not. If I was an alcoholic, I would have drank whether Inju existed or not. But I'm not. So, yep. Sorry, my next page. I was in tears this morning. It was deeply embarrassing to have to explain to my real estate agent that the government isn't allowing me to pay my rent, like, on time, despite having thousands in my account. I'm kind of shaking with anxiety. I don't need this stress. I'm about to move house with a newborn. I've never done that before. I've already lost my 3-bedroom Queenslander because Inju wouldn't allow me to pay crash rent, which this is why I'm in Victoria. Like, who wants to be in Victoria, really? Like, really, who wants to be in Victoria? It's cold. Anyway, now that they have a legitimate copy of my lease from the last year, but for the next year, they don't have it yet, and I'm really stressing out. I spent about $4,000 relocating interstate. I feel like really that money could have been better spent on my kid. On my kid who I wanted to raise in Queensland. Instead, I'm down here again in Victoria where I don't want to be, but I'm forced to be because they don't know what the card is. In summary, I just think it's ridiculous that I can go and buy a carton of smokes, no problem. I can go and buy a carton of smokes. I can go buy 70 souvlaki's if I wanted to. I could buy 400 cheeseburgers if I wanted to. I really could, guys. I could go and buy 400 cheeseburgers right now, but I can't pay my rent. I implore anyone else who's out there to write up, just make a record of your hardships, make a video, just even write it out. Just write it out in words, what you're going through, because this is ridiculous. I've been so much in control of my finances my whole life. I've never had any issues. I am in no debt. But I can't pay my rent right now. And it's... I don't want this for anyone in my state. I don't want this for anyone anywhere. I don't even want this for anyone in Hinkler. I don't want it for anyone in Harvey Bay. I don't want it for anyone in Kalgoorlie. I don't want anyone in anywhere. In anywhere. I don't want it for anyone in South Australia. I don't want it for them. I'm here with you till the end. I don't know what else to say. I'm really upset. I'm really pissed off that I'm one of the only privileged people to be able to rent a house to speak to you from for the next 12 months. So I'll be here. I'll be here and I'll be loud. I don't know. That's all I can do. You poor people. Yeah. I gotcha. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks, Leanne. Thanks for understanding my anger. It's doing my head in. I've got a baby. Look, she's asleep. I don't know. I don't want her to grow up in poverty when I've worked since 9 months old in tax. I've worked my ass off. I came across one crappy domestic violence incident relationship. Despite being a very, very hard-working taxpayer, it means jack shit. Sorry, French. Am I allowed to say shit here? Anyway. Yeah.